power of the heart. Finding your inner wisdom.
The power of the heart.
Finding the power of the heart.
The power of the heart.
The power of the
Power
heart.
of the heart. Power of the heart.
让我们寻回心的力量。
The
Power
power
of
of
the
the heart.
heart.
Thank you for joining us today. My name is Yuru Chow. You are tuning into the Power of the Heart on Dai Radio. In Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers are actively sharing Tzu Chi with everyone they encounter in the community to inspire people to donate to charity and to do good. These volunteers include young children from kindergarten and youth volunteers in colleges. They inspire countless classmates to do good. Their goal is to inspire at least 1 million people to become bodhisattvas. They are truly doing this out of a bodhisattva spirit. They want to quickly reach out to more people to help them find the love and righteousness in their hearts and enter the door of wisdom. By joining Tzu Chi and dedicating themselves to help others, people will develop more love and insight, which will give them a better life full of blessing and wisdom. Beyond this, as more people act with love, our society and world will be more peaceful, harmonious, and filled with blessings. That is to the benefit of everyone in the world. In our program today, we'll begin with a reading of Master Cheng Yen's teaching on life economics about networking on campus. This reading is provided by Mr. Colin Lagerton.
You are listening to The Power of the Heart on Dai Radio. Tapping into the power of the heart. Finding your inner wisdom. Finding the power of the heart.
Section 2. Networking on Campus. Our future relies on education, and our society relies on capable people who are nurtured through education. Nurturing children is like growing trees. Seeds require soil, water, sunshine, air, and care in order to sprout and grow into big, healthy trees. Education requires a positive environment so that everything children see and hear in their daily lives sets a positive example for them. At home, parents provide the mold. At school, teachers provide the model. When children have good examples to learn from and emulate, they can cultivate ideal values. Everyone has the ability to love. Whether at home or in school, we should let children learn how to love and respect themselves and others. If children only receive love, then over time they will take it for granted. They will lack the ability to love and respect themselves, let alone love and respect others. Therefore, in addition to passing on academic knowledge, teachers need to teach principles of benevolence, integrity, manners, ethics, and morals. Only when parents, teachers, and society promote these same principles together with one heart will they be effective. Parents, teachers, and students join efforts. When teaching thrives and morals flourish, the world has hope. Therefore, education must focus on teaching with propriety and guiding with principles. It is said that etiquette constitutes the real truth. We should first teach children manners and etiquette so that they can know and understand truth. Teaching etiquette requires a joint effort from parents, teachers, and students. In the past, parents always urged their children to listen attentively to their teachers. They reminded their children to keep their teachers' instructions in mind and apply them in their daily lives. When children are reminded every day by their parents to respect their teachers, they will naturally respect them. In school, teachers set an example with their own conduct. When teachers meet, they greet each other and exchange bows to set a good example for their students. Seeing this, the students will understand etiquette and bow too when they see their teachers. This is the proper etiquette for greeting on campus. In addition, teachers teach etiquette and ethics in the classroom. Students see the examples their teachers set for them and hear about good deeds from exemplary people. Immersed in an environment where people uphold their duties and do good deeds, students can learn truth through practicing etiquette. Why are there so many problems with youth today? It is not because children cannot be taught, nor is it because every child is mischievous. In fact, each of us is responsible. If teachers lack a sense of mission in their instruction, then they begin to feel that the more they teach, the more troubles they encounter. When teachers slack off in their teaching, they stop disciplining students. In other cases, parents spoil their children so much that they go to school to complain when their children are shown even a little discipline. This can turn into a vicious cycle. On the other hand, when teachers do their best and take responsibility for instructing students, and the parents respect the teachers, then not only can children receive an education of love, this loving feeling can influence families. Such is the cycle of love. Over the years, the Tzu Chi Teachers Association has encountered many instances where a student's parents' marriage was in crisis, or a student's family was on the verge of splitting apart. Due to some teacher's passion for teaching and genuine caring for his students, the teacher took the initiative to understand the students' problems at home. Through counseling for the parents, these teachers were often able to make their students' families whole again. I always like to share Mr. Yo's story as an example. Mr. Yo, who lives in Pingdong, was a very strict teacher who often doled out corporal punishment to his students. After joining Tzu Chi, he learned about Jingsi aphorisms and started to apply them to his life. After thoroughly digesting the aphorisms, he taught them to his students. He stopped corporal punishment altogether and has seen some unexpected results. Mr. Yo's class is full of students that the school had given up on, but under Mr. Yo's loving and patient guidance, the students have gradually changed themselves. The parents of one of Mr. Yo's students were constantly fighting. After one particularly bad fight, they considered divorce. The student took this opportunity to practice what he had learned from his teacher. He wrote 2 notes. He posted one on his father's closet door and the other on his mother's mirror. In the morning, his father saw the note on his closet door. Anger is momentary insanity. His mother found a note on the mirror. Do not punish yourself with the mistakes of others. The parents showed each other the notes and smiled to each other when they read them. They realized that parents fighting sets a bad example for the children, so they agreed to avoid quarreling from then on. Later, at a back-to-school night, as other parents shared their experiences, they discovered that many families had similar stories. Parents should apply the wisdom of bodhisattvas in treating their children, and they should accept other children as if they were their own. They should not worry only about their own children, nor should they reject other children. They should give love appropriately with an open and selfless heart. No one can survive without water. Love should be like clear water, but, like water, it cannot be in excess. For example, some parents want their children to focus only on studying, so they overprotect their children and do not let them do any household chores. As a result, their children do not even know how to wash their own clothes. How can these children experience the true meaning of love? Excess love can turn into a burden and weigh down the children, or they may get used to it and take it for granted. We should give love appropriately and properly guide our children to become well-educated, polite, and full of self-respect. There is a student named Wu who lives in the remote mountains of Taidong County. Her family is poor, and after her mother passed away, her father took on odd jobs in the mountains to stay close to his children. Wu helps out with the household chores and takes care of her younger siblings after school. Having earned the highest score in the whole county on the basic competence test for junior high school students, Wu qualified to attend the very prestigious Taipei First Girls High School in Taipei. However, she chose instead to attend a local high school in Taidong due to her family's financial situation. After her story was reported on the news, Tzu Chi volunteers immediately visited her family to gain a better understanding of her situation. Her father works hard to take good care of his family, and his 3 children are all smart and considerate. Although their home is poor, it is warm. Wu loves her father and is very grateful to her teacher. She always says that she has 2 fathers. One is her teacher, who frequently tutors her in math after school and constantly encourages her. Her teacher educates her with the love of a parent, nurturing and guiding her. Self-respecting children like Wu are the future talents and hope of our society. A report card of love. In the teaching profession, educators should uphold the spirit of expounding wisdom and guide students to tread the correct path. In life, we must walk the right path so that our lives can be broadened. If we go astray, we will hurt ourselves and harm society as well. The purpose of teaching is to open up the ignorant mind. We all begin as ignorant children and learn whatever we are taught. For this reason, we must inspire our children to be kind and carefully nurture them as they grow. Many teachers and students take advantage of summer and winter vacations to travel abroad for studying or sightseeing. But how does this help or inspire them? It may broaden their perspective, but does it allow their mind to see a genuine picture of the world? Tzu Chi once organized an educational trip to Danjia County in Guizhou, China. Tzu Chi has cultivated a good affinity with this county for many years. Not only did we help build schools there, but we also regularly provide need-based scholarships to primary and secondary school students. Therefore, our bonds with this community are strong. One year, the Tzu Chi Teachers Association organized a group to visit Guizhou during summer vacation. The group consisted of 70 or 80 teachers and students from Tzu Chi University, Tzu Chi High School, and Tzu Chi College of Technology. Before they left, I told the teachers, "This trip is a rare opportunity. Help the students understand how other children live and study." In Danjia, some students live in the school dormitories because their homes were far away. The dormitories were old and shabby with leaky roofs. There were no mattresses on the bunk bed frames, so students had to bring their own wooden boards to sleep on. Even when attending class, students had to bring their own chairs. Moreover, the boarding students cooked their own meals. They went home once a week and brought rice and vegetables to school when they came back. 2 or 3 students would form a group to cook and eat together. They cooked simple dishes by putting everything in a big pot over a small stove. The students witnessed the local children washing their own clothes in a small basin of water, scrubbing away at the soiled areas. Tzu Chi teachers asked, "Why do you use so little water to wash?" A student explained, "Saving water saves money for the school." These students were content with what they had and realized their own blessings. They had few desires, even as they lived and studied in a difficult environment. They understood that they had to study hard in order to overcome poverty and hardship. Upon returning from the trip, our students shared their experiences. They said that they had seen the most innocent smiles. They had witnessed how the Guizhou students ate their rice without wasting a single grain, even using the last vegetable in the bowl to scrape and clean out the bowl. They never complained about how simple their meals were. Instead, they were grateful to their parents and appreciative of their hard work. This gratitude demonstrated that their hearts were unpolluted. That is why their smiles were so innocent. The Tzu Chi students learned that the scholarships we gave to the primary school students were about $24 per year. One student commented, "I'm ashamed. My glasses cost more than $100. My t-shirt was more than $30. My blue jeans cost more than $100. And this pair of brand name sneakers was also a couple $100. The total value of what I'm wearing now could provide scholarships to 15 students for a whole year." From then on, the students who had gone on the trip started to live frugally. Through witnessing the hardships of others, they learned to cherish their blessings and feel grateful for what they had. With so many people in the world, some worry that it will take too long to inspire everyone to love others. We should remember that a big tree grows from a tiny seed, so everyone can spread the seeds of love. In 1998, the Dominican Republic was devastated by Hurricane George. Tzuchi USA quickly sent an aid team and has continued to offer support to this day. Unable to bear seeing local children deprived of an education and foraging for food on the garbage mountain every day, our volunteers decided to help build schools and improve the environment. Over the years, this place has become neat, beautiful, and full of energy. Tzuchi volunteers often visit the Dominican Republic to care for the locals. Not only have they seen the students progress from primary to secondary school, they have also provided food, uniforms, book bags, and school supplies from time to time. The principals and teachers have been deeply moved by the Tzuchi volunteers. The school has always maintained a lively atmosphere. The locals cherish their opportunity for education, so they highly value the graduation ceremony. At the ceremony, each graduate dons cap and gown and demonstrates the results of etiquette education by respectfully serving tea to teachers, parents, and Tzuchi volunteers who travel from the United States to attend the ceremony. When Typhoon Morakot devastated Taiwan in 2009, the children also raised funds to help the typhoon survivors. Seeing volunteers with donation boxes, school children lined up one after another to donate. These students do not have much, so each one could only donate a few cents. There was one student, however, who donated more than $1, so he was asked why he donated so much. "I heard that the floods in Taiwan caused many schools to collapse and left many people homeless, so we must do our best to help," he replied. Even though the locals are relatively poor and need help from Tzuchi, these children's kind thoughts and benevolent acts demonstrate the cycle of love that has formed. Fish twine and incense wrapper. There is a story in the Buddhist Sutras. One day, the Buddha and his monastic assembly were walking down the road. The Buddha saw a piece of twine in the road and asked the Venerable Ananda to pick it up. As he picked it up, he immediately smelled the stench of rotten fish. "Ananda, what do you feel?" the Buddha asked. "This twine is filthy and putrid. It smells like rotten fish," answered the Venerable Ananda. "Did the rest of you smell it?" "Yes, we did." "Why does this twine smell of rotten fish?" the Buddha asked. Everyone knew that this twine smelled bad because it had been used to tie up fish. The Buddha continued, "Originally this piece of twine did not have such a foul smell, but it was contaminated by the fish it held." They proceeded on their walk and saw a rolled up piece of thick paper. The Buddha asked the Venerable Ananda to pick it up. As he opened it, a pleasant smell came forth. "What do you feel?" the Buddha asked. "I like it very much. It is fragrant." "Have you smelled it?" the Buddha asked the others. "Yes, we smell the sweet aroma." "Do you know why this piece of paper is so fragrant? Did it have this fragrance to begin with?" They speculated that the piece of paper had been used to wrap sandalwood incense. This story reminds us that environment is very important. Human nature is pure, yet it becomes defiled as we are tempted by the surrounding environment, which leads to changes in our habits. However, if we can be influenced and moved by a positive environment, then we will be receptive to correct concepts. I once saw a mother and her daughter on stage sharing their personal experiences. This was a working mother who had high expectations for her daughter, so she disciplined her very strictly. When her teenage daughter went on stage to tell her story, she confessed that she used to resent her mother for nagging her. She did not understand her mother's good intentions, so she caused trouble in school and skipped classes. She gradually made friends with the wrong people and started smoking, drinking, gambling, and even fighting. Her teachers often called home to report her inappropriate behavior, so her mother was quite distraught. Later, a group of senior Tzuchi volunteers came to the aid of the distressed mother. They were willing to work with and counsel her young daughter. In the beginning, the daughter resisted them, feeling that they were pretentious. After several months, the daughter realized that the volunteers' love and caring were genuine. Slowly she understood that she was not alone. She was very much loved. Inspired by the group's love and benevolence, she began to reflect on her own behavior, and she realized that she should separate herself from her old group of friends. When they came to see her one day, she bravely told them, "Please do not come to see me anymore. This kind of lifestyle is wrong. I need to start my life over. It would be best if we all split up and each started a new life." But they did not listen to her. Instead, they beat her up. Even though she was bloodied and bruised, she did not even fight back. As she recovered at home, she calmly thought back on the incident. The more she thought, the more she realized that it was worth it to take one beating to gain back a peaceful life. While she was healing, the Tzu Chi volunteers all came to visit her. Their warm embraces and counseling made her realize that she should first apologize to her mother for all of her wrongdoings. Next, she needed to give up her bad habits and study harder. After school each day, she began going with her mother to do recycling work. Now, when people see her delicate face, they cannot imagine the wayward person that she used to be. An old adage states, "He who stands next to ink will turn black." Becoming friends with good people leads us to be good. On the other hand, if we stay close to bad people, then we are easily led down the wrong path. Be a true good friend. I once saw a news report about a group of young people at a karaoke parlor, singing and drinking all night until they eventually became drunk. Someone from the next room gave them a look, and the two parties started fighting. One person was killed and 2 others were injured. The police rushed to the scene and took both groups in for questioning. Young people filled the entire police station. I thought about the parents of all these kids. How worried they must have been, having children staying out all night, engaging in unwholesome activities. All parents want their children to do well and become successful. They hope their children will be smart and well-behaved and will tread the right path, so they can pass through the rebellious teenage years. Actually, there was no such thing as rebellious years in the old days. When children saw their parents work hard, they knew that they too should carry out their own responsibilities. We are very fortunate to have many mature and diligent young people in today's society. I often hear people say, "When I see Tzu Chi Collegiate Association members, I know that there is hope for our future." These collegiate volunteers are always composed and well-behaved. They are polite, refined, elegant, and graceful. These young people with correct principles should do their best to influence their peers. Because they are of a similar age, they share a common language and can empathize with one another. According to the Dharma, we should all mindfully enlighten those who work with us. Enlightening others through cooperative deeds is one of the 4 all-embracing virtues, namely, charitable offerings, beneficial conduct, loving words, and cooperative deeds. The first, charitable offerings, is not limited only to giving money, but also giving the Dharma and giving courage to free others from fear. Let us take 2 female students at Tzu Chi University as an example. During their nursing class, these students volunteered to act as patients so that their teacher could demonstrate how to insert a nasogastric tube. They later explained that this act not only allowed them to experience firsthand what patients feel when receiving a nasogastric tube, but also helped their classmates learn the insertion method. This act was a charitable offering, even though it was not expressed in cash. It was, rather, a rare display of the giving of Dharma that allowed their classmates to learn how to insert the nasogastric tube. It was also a display of giving courage. When the tube was inserted, the girls felt like vomiting. It was very uncomfortable, but they smiled and told their classmates not to worry. They wanted to create a calm environment for their classmates to continue their learning. The second virtue is beneficial conduct. We should always consider others first and help others with empathy. These 2 students personally experienced the insertion of the nasogastric tube and learned how to do it themselves to reduce the stress of their patients. At the same time, they helped teach the technique to the other students. Their actions were a clear example of beneficial conduct. The third virtue is loving words. This means that we must use positive words to comfort and counsel others. Most importantly, we must be considerate of others. When speaking kind words, we need a common language to communicate with each other. The fourth virtue is enlightening others through cooperative deeds. A harmonious world requires everyone striving together. We should not only cultivate ourselves, but also benefit others. We should extend a helping hand to those around us when they encounter difficulties in their work. This is how we enlighten others through cooperative deeds. A genuine cooperative deed is when we help others fulfill their goals. A student returned to her homeland in Yuli after graduation to serve the locals at Tsuji General Hospital. In the beginning, the rigid training led by the senior nurses made her very nervous, and sometimes she could not help but cry. Her classmates would comfort her, saying, "We all love and care about you. We hope that you will mature quickly so that you can take good care of patients." They reassured her often, so she was able to face the training program with courage. This too is a cooperative deed. Young people are the hope for the future. Each young person should strive to become a good seed and vow to enlighten his friends. That is what a true good friend would do.
Life's like a stage. Be glad for what you play. Cherish, be content that there's a reason for what might come our way. Life's like a candle, going to light it up, going to let it shine in the darkness. Life's like a stage. Be glad for what you play. Cherish, be content